Hi, this is FLN 15, which is histograms. So we are continuing on with our next standard, which is statistics. And statistics is the analysis or the capture or how you display data. It's all about data. And we have different kinds of data. We have quantitative data and qualitative data. Quantitative data means something you can count. How many of something, how many cats in the room, how many dogs on the moon, that sort of stuff. Qualitative, you can't count as easily. How do you feel today? How did you feel yesterday? People try to quantify that. If you remember going to the doctor and they show you that funny chart, how do you feel? And then they put a number under it. I feel bad, right? I think the numbers are going the wrong way. This one's supposed to be really happy. And then I feel horrible. And that was like a 2. That's when they're trying to quantify qualitative data. So a histogram is a representation of data that uses triangles to show how frequently something happens. And it's not a box plot. A box plot just gives you the general idea. X happened this many times. A histogram is going to give us a range of how many times something happened. So when you look at histograms, the lines are right up against each other, unlike box plots, where the box plots are here. Okay, and there's a space between them because the histogram has a range of data and the ranges line right up with each other. That's what a histogram says. And sometimes these ranges are called buckets, or they're called the range, or... Okay, the first example that we're going to use for a histogram is, say that you had a lovely next door neighbor who was rather old and rather wealthy and wanted you to walk her dog. But she asked you, what is the going rate of dog walking? And you said, I don't know, but I know how I can figure out. I'm going to use my math 131 knowledge to get you the correct answer. Why do you want the correct answer? If you give her an honest answer, she'll probably recommend you to her friends, and then your dog walking business will be off the ground. So you send a Google alert out, or a Google form out to your mom's contact list, and you get 10 responses back. How much do people usually pay for dog walking? So I was mistaken. 11 people got back to you with how much they pay for dog walking. Tom pays 7, Nick pays 8, Betsy pays 13, Chris pays 6, Donna pays 4, CJ pays 5, Veronica pays 12, Nicole pays 8, Terry pays 4, Jake pays 7, and Ryan pays 10. But is this data a compelling way to talk to your neighbor about how much money you should get paid for dog walking? Not really. She has bad eyesight, and this is hard to look at this data and know what's going on. So, what's the best way to show this data to your neighbor?
A histogram!
A histogram! So for this histogram, we're going to make different buckets or different bins of data. I want to know how many people, I'm not going to use black, sorry, I want to know how many people pay from $0 to $5. And when I say 0 to 5, it's really $0 to $4.99. So that's going to be our first bucket. Our second bucket is going to be how many people pay $5 all the way up to $9.99. And then our third bucket is how many people pay $10 all the way up to, we're going to do $14.99. So these are my different ranges. So then when I go through my data, I'm going to look for that. How many people paid $0 to $4.99? He didn't. No. Yes, Donna did. So I'm going to circle Donna. CJ, nope. $5 is over $4.99. So CJ goes into the second bucket. $12, no. 8, 4. Yeah, Terry paid $4 per dog walk. 7, no. Ryan paid 10, no. So, how many do I have total? 2. I have 2 people that paid in between $0 and $4.99 for their dog walk. The next bucket is $5 up to $9.99 for their dog walk. So who paid that? Well, Tom did. Nick did. Did Betsy? No, Betsy's above, so she doesn't get counted. Chris did. CJ did. Did Veronica? No, she goes into this column. Nicole? Yes. Jake? Yes. Did Ryan? No, because again, this is up to $9.99. So the $10 goes into the second bucket. So how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 people that paid in between $5 and $9.99 for a dog walk. The last bucket is how many people paid in between $10 and $14.99 for a dog walk? Well, Betsy did, Veronica did, and Ryan did. So that's 3 people. Now I have to take this data and turn it into a histogram. Okay, so here's my histogram. Again, I'm going to have a y-axis here. The y-axis is the frequency, the number of people who said that they paid for a different price of dog walk. Then I have my x-axis on the horizontal line, and the x-axis is the amount of money per dog walk they pay. And I also always have to have a title, right? You need a title of your graph to make it very clear. So, in between $0 and $5, how many people paid in between $0 and $5?
2 people.
2 people. So I come up here, and I come down, and this is my 2 people that paid in between $0 and $5. An interesting thing about histograms. Even though we put the 5 here, it is commonly expected or known that this is right up to 5, but not beyond 5. Remember when we did inequalities and we put the circle around it, meaning it's right up to that, but not that? Histograms have the same theory going on, or not theory, the same
Thing going on?
context, well, the same commonality going on. All right, the next one is in between $5 and $10. Who paid in between $5 and $10? How many people?
6 people.
6. So I come up here to where 6 is, and I come across, and these are the number of people, the frequency of the number of people who paid in between 5 and 10 on the graph, but we know that, again, this is right before 10. This is $9.99. And then the last one is how many people paid between $10 and $15 for a dog walk? And that is
3 people.
3. So I come up here to 3 and across. Now, the reason histograms are up tight against each other is because this is a range. Because this is amount of money that ranges, and so these different buckets are tight against each other because you're coming from 0 to 5, or 0 to $4.99, $4.99 to $9.99, and $10 to $14.99. So that is how histograms are, is that they're tied up against each other because of these buckets or ranges. So here's the question: how much do you want to charge your neighbor? Well, that's up to you. You could present this data to her and say, look, the average dog walking price is in between $5 and $10. So I'm willing to take about 7. Maybe she doesn't like to make change though. Maybe she could say, hey, $30 a week, I'll walk the dog 5 times. You work on the math.